Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is September 16th. Welcome to my channel. Now, of course, this market's gapping up, right? Very bullish September so far. We have FOMC tomorrow. Yesterday, as expected, the market was literally garbage. Now, I did have one of my pre-market plans actually happen. Um, the market came in and pulled right back to the most traded price of the overnights and took off. It was kind of early, but it did happen. Um, Internals again were not really that strong, but I said it's rollover week with FOMC. As the week goes on, the Z contract that we're in now is going to eventually just take over, and then we should get back to some more normalized trading. But like I said, positions are rolling over. It just makes the futures a little weird, and that's what we're seeing. Now we were just ripping and roaring. We're almost back to the midpoint of the overnights in both the ES and the Nasdaq. However, we're still gapping up. Still gapping up. Now, one theory I could say possibly is because this market has been expecting a cut for a while now. So if the cut's given to us, I don't know if this is all pricing in those cuts, right? And then it's just going to sell. I don't know. Like I said, I don't predict, but that could be a possibility. Okay. A lot of things going on in the news. Trump talking about making 6 month uh, earnings instead of quarterly. That would save companies money. Uh, some people feel like it's unrealistic to have quarterly earnings reports. Like it's not enough time. So they're batting around that. And what else is going on in the news? He could not fire a judge blocked or something firing Fed Cook, so she's voting. I think Marin that he appointed is going to vote this time. Um, so that's what's going on in the news. Also, TikTok being described, and Oracle is going to be the one to keep that in America, so their stocks getting lifted by that. Nvidia released some China chip, and they're not happy with it. That's why Nvidia's down this morning. Um, in Tesla, Elon Musk bought like around 1 billion of stock because that Tesla's been surging, boy. And Google, finally, it's been always like undervalued. Mag 7 is getting a huge push. I wish I had more shares. I do have I don't have a ton, but I have an amount. So I'm liking that. It's so odd to see all these stocks get pushed again. It's so crazy. It is so crazy in September. And, once momentum goes, FOMO kicks in. People think they're missing it. And we are due for some correction. The timing of that, nobody knows. But we're going to get a correction. Don't know how deep. But it's very rare to keep just going up like this. Okay. Maybe today we'll do some RRG charts and to see actually what's been leading since the September 2nd. All right. Maybe we'll do that. You guys are interested in that? All right. Maybe we'll find a hidden gem there. Sometimes you find hidden gems. Because I have a sectors and then I have a subsector. So we're really getting down into the nitty gritty, the granular. And we can see basically where's money's going. Where's money rotating into. Okay? Now, without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the markets along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. It's how I build a game plan and a process around that. I also use Anchor VLOPs and my trusty market internals. Lets me know what's under the hood of the markets. Also, Bookmap helps me execute. All right. and my trusty weekly expected move indicator. Now, yesterday I mentioned in my channel, my Discord, that Google already hit its expected move to the upside. Okay. Now, I say this ad nauseum, but every week I say the expected range, 70% of the time, it closes within the expected range. Okay, so how much higher can Google go? It can, but I would say it has a little anchor around its ankle. Okay, I know FOMC is coming, but we already hit the expected move on a Monday, and it was supposed to be for a Friday. Okay, so that's a little red flag to me so far. Okay, now hopefully, everybody can subscribe and set alert to my channel. I give you the market story, the news, the economic calendar, and the leaders and the laggers. Bunch of technical analysis, right? And then I give you the long and short trade scenarios of the NASDAQ and the ES futures. Okay, that to me is worth its weight in gold. But subscribe, set an alert, let me be your morning coffee, tea, water, whatever you drink. All right, now if you want a little more in depth, you join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up. That's there where you'll get access to myself commenting to the markets, right? Here's the live market updates. I give videos, what's going on under the hood, what I'm looking at. You got my trades, right? I give trade recaps. I do nice videos. And weekly expected move indicator right here. Get it while you can. Now, if anybody's interested, when I always say my market internals, that's where you'll go here. Click on this. It tells you exactly why I look at them. Because I mention them a lot. Okay? I mention them a lot. All right, so go ahead, sign up, join the community. All right, I think we're ready to look at the futures watch list here. Boom. Let's do it. And look at that. Crude up 0.88. Silver's up 0.73. Gold up 0.32. Nasdaq's up 0.19. ES up 0.13. Ethereum up 0.10. Russell's up 0.08. 10-year yield basically flat. Bitcoin's flat. The Dow's flat. 30-year bonds being sold slightly. Dollar is down 0.27. And the VIX is down 1.02% with this move up. The market's just churning along, folks. Okay. Mag 7. Let's look at it. We have Tesla leading the pack up 1% with Elon Musk buying 1 billion worth of shares. We have Broadcom here up 0.83. Google's up 0.75. It's going past its expected move now. Let's see what happens the rest of the week, right? Amazon up 0.59, Meta's up 0.44. They're going to come out with another pair of glasses with augmented reality, I believe, on Wednesday. Boeing up 0.25. There's a lot of up here. Only thing is down is your Nvidia, and that's because of those China chips that they're not happy with. They're not happy with. Okay. Is anything going on in the world of top sector stock list? Yes. Snowflake down 1.57%. Snowflake down 1.57%. Let's go to granular because I know Dave & Buster's is getting slammed. So let's see here. Who's up though? Oracle, just like I said, right? Then you got Hershey up 2.66. ASML got an upgrade the other day, up 2.11%. Taiwan Semis up 1.77. Chipotle up 1.61. Now, let's look at the laggards, which I believe Dave & Buster's is right there. Okay. They had earnings, right? I guess they were not good. Down 18.40%. Trade Desk down 1.95. Datadog down 1.89. That's it there. All right. That's your real laggard of the day there. Moving on to sectors, that's what we care about. Semiconductors is your leader, up 0.44, even with Nvidia a little bit weak. Followed by discretionary, right? Now semis, that's your AMDs, your Broadcoms, your Nvidias, right? your discretionary, that is your Tesla, Home Depot, and your Amazon. Energy, that's your Chevron, your Chevron, Exxon. Okay. Technology, that's your Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. All right, they're all up. There's nobody down. No sector is down. Okay. Interesting, right? Moving on to some economic calendar. Not sure who's with me today. Good morning. Good morning. Not sure if Chief's here. I know Mark's been joining lately. That's been a nice surprise. Documents is MIA, I think. Amalio always catches the feed late. Oh, I see a little heart just bounced up. That could be Chief. I'm not sure. Um. All right, let's get into it. Today, retail sales 8:30, export import prices 10 a.m. business inventories and NHAB housing marketing. That generally doesn't really move the markets much. API crude at 4:30. Let's check the juice out. What do we have today? Trump departs White House at 8:30. Really nothing really much to report there. It says Russia could be forced to start cutting oil production following attacks on Baltic Sea ports. Okay. Let's look at some more news. Let's get into some stock news, like I talked about earlier. Oracle stock rose 5.3% after CBS News reported that the cloud computing giant is among a consortium of firms that will enable TikTok to continue operations in the U.S. Ford stock rose 0.2% after the U.S. auto giant announced plans to cut up 1,000 jobs in electric car production. Alphabet stock rose 0.9 after the tech giant's Google unit said it would make 6.8 billion in new investments in Britain. Novo Nordisk stock rose 3% after new research shows the drug maker's weight loss drug Wegovy can help patients reduce constant thoughts about food, a finding that could broaden the drug's appeal. I saw this in a little more detail. It's a high dose, so I guess they're contacting the FDA for approval. Eli Lilly stock rose 0.1 after it indicates that the drug maker's experimental weight loss pill could be fast tracked under a 1 to 2 month review. Dave & Buster's stock slumped 15% after the chain of restaurants and arcades posted disappointing second quarter revenue and profit. Chipotle Mexican Grill stock rose 1.7 following the fast casual restaurants chain announcement of an additional $500 million authorization for its share repurchase program. Rocket Lab stock fell 3.5 after the aerospace manufacturer announced it entered into a stock purchase agreement worth up to $750 million. Oscar Health dropped 4.6 after the health insurer announced a $350 million private offering of senior convertible notes. Warner Brothers Discovery stock fell 1.3 after TD Cowen downgraded its stance on the entertainment giant to hold from buy, saying the stock's sharp rally on takeover speculation has pushed it well beyond fair value. There's that news. Okay. Fed avoids shock to independence for now with Cook to attend meeting. Murin confirmed to open seat. There's that Nvidia chip for China finds little favor with major firms. Trump sues New York Times for defamation. Investment deals pave way for Trump arrival in Britain. Meta to debut costlier smart glasses to display at annual Connect event. I didn't really find much in here that was much. Meta SBC raises target price to 905 from 900. Ross Stores Jeffrey raises target price to 175 from 170, and we already know about the Warner Brothers. I think that's pretty good on that news front. If we go into a little breath here, we're down to 46% of stocks above their 20-day simple moving average. So see, the overall breadth in this market is not that great. But what moves our markets is market cap, right? So the Mag 7 can help push it up. All right, moving on. Moving on. We're going to look at a little bit of market internals. Now, yesterday, you can see these internals. That is not strong, folks. The upper portion is 69. That is not strong. Then you see your equal weight was just deteriorating all day, and the market cap kind of held it in check. You can see because Infotech was up, right? You can see the mixed bag here. That just meant the market wasn't going to go too far, go too low. I said earlier in my Discord that I said I felt like a sell-off was going to happen. This was the sell-off. And I think sell-off was a little harsh of a word. I should have said maybe like a dip or something. But that's what happened, right? It just, you can't move super high when your internals are not that strong. It's the bottom line. All right, that's the bottom line. Now, let's get into some daily charts here. Moving along today. Really not much to talk about, be honest with you. Let's get into it. So here's your SPY. Good morning, Chief. Here we go. So you have this like upper trend channel here that we're almost hitting here. Made all-time highs yesterday. Really just kind of almost bounced off the last week's highs. Where are we now? 661.64. We're right up here. We're gapping up. Okay. So let's go futures. Futures. You can see all-time highs in futures, and we're kind of pulling back a little bit. All right. There's not much to read into this, folks. There's not much to read into this. We got the Qs, all-time highs, right? All-time highs. Really just drove, had a little bit of a down move, and yesterday was just relatively stronger. They were just relatively stronger, and pretty strong, right? So where we are now, 592.50, 592.50. We're about right here. Let's look at futures. Like I said, not a lot to analyze here. No overhead supply, no resistance, right? All-time highs. We're just literally have not broken a low. Not one day has a low been broken from the previous session. That is serious momentum. And when does it slow down? Who knows? I don't know. I don't have any confidence to know. All I can do is follow what the market is doing. Remember what I said last week. I don't have any conviction and confidence in a swing play. Just don't. Even Tesla, I saw that. And even that, I was like, I don't know. Like, I was very hesitant. Even though I saw that 358 level, I was like, man, if that breaks out there, that could be a possibility. I mean, I could have did a little bit of an advanced option trade on it to not put too much debit out, but I just don't like this market. I just don't like it. Right? I just feel like the rug's going to get pulled out any second. I don't feel comfortable going long. I don't feel comfortable going short. Okay? Now, the one thing we'll look at real quick is that bond market. It finally is kind of doing something here. So you can notice here those yields. We actually went down to 3.99, and we're kind of holding out down here. Okay? We have cracked the anchor VWAP for this year and last year. That's pretty pivotal. If we start cracking below 3.9, you know, I am a holder of TLT, and it's making money finally. So I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I don't know. Could we go down to 3.5? We very well could. And like I said, buying bonds, which yields go higher, is a two-way street. Some people look at it like, hey, the lower yields go, the more I want to get into risk assets. Or it's a sign of fear and for safety. So let's move on. We're going to look at some hourly charts here, and there's not much to look at, but we will. Okay, we will. Let's look at those hourly charts together. It's just interesting to look at, right? So here's our hourly charts. This is our ES. Right? You can see, obviously, the lightly shaded area is overnight activity. So you can see this consolidation. Remember what I said. Market only consolidates in trends. Right? Consolidate, trend. Consolidate, trend. Now, is this the next consolidation? Don't know. But it's doing what it's supposed to do. That's what markets do. You can see we kind of have a double top in an hourly chart here. And we're pulling back into a demand zone. Now remember, we have FOMC coming. Okay? We have FOMC coming. Everybody knows we're getting a cut. Everybody knows it's probably a quarter point. The shocker would be more than a quarter point. Probably. Okay? Like I said, though, everybody knows, right? This is where I think possibly a rug pull can happen. where we're pricing this in right now, these cuts. And like I said, is history with the yield curve, specifically the 3 month, 10 year, when it uninverts and Fed starts to cut rates, we generally go into a recession. Okay, because you get this sugar high from cuts initially, but when the Fed is cutting, it's a sign that something is wrong, right? So we have to see. We have to see. Now, what levels can we work off today? We have all-time highs here, right? And now we have this consolidation here. The most traded price of yesterday, 66.70. So what you want to see is just to see if we can defend this consolidation. 66.70 right here is the most traded price of yesterday. Okay, a lot of support here. A lot of support at last week's highs. That's your 6662. Okay, that's your ES. And again, rollovers happening. Yesterday was just weird and like very like just like I'm watching it and I'm like, this is something I just don't want to trade. And I like the trade, obviously. It's just something that I don't want to trade. It just looks odd, right? Don't get me wrong. Did I see setups? All right, let's look at Qs. So your Qs, same thing, consolidation, broke out in the overnight. Went all the way up and kind of made a double top as well in an hourly chart. Now you're getting right into this demand and support and you're getting some buying, right? Right here. You do have a little bit of a supply. That's an hour supply right here. Don't know what's going to happen, right? Same thing as yesterday. You have this consolidation. And you have the 244. Let's just call it 245s. That's your most traded price of yesterday. Got the anchor view up for the week here. Right there as well. Let's see if the market can defend that. Remember, we have FOMC tomorrow. This market could die into the afternoon because tomorrow's FOMC. All right, that's your hourly charts. Whoop. Alrighty. And right here, I don't know if you can really see it. I'll blow it up just to show you Google. Right here, that's the expected move, that green bar. You can see the expected move to the upside is 251, $251.08, right? That's right here. Google right now is at 253.12. So it's over the expected move. Remember what I said? I wouldn't want to go long Google right now. It's not priced in the options market. Can you break this range? Of course. It happened last week with Tesla. It just doesn't happen a lot. Only 30% of the time. Okay? So that's the expected move. You know, the other one that could be going towards it is Tesla. 432 is that expected move to the week. Remember, that thing moves very quick. Okay? Now, we're going to get right over into the market profile and volume profile. Okay? I'm just going to change the workspace here for you guys. We'll get right over there. And this is the market profile, volume profile analysis. Bring this down. Let's see. We'll bring this profile up a little bit. Alrighty. Now, real quickly, why don't we just do a little futures daily chart? This is a better, I feel like a better, I should show you guys this more often. I think it's just a better representation of the daily charts. It's nice. It doesn't have that because in NinjaTrader, it just shows you nice levels. Alright. So look at that, all-time highs. And if you notice the profile for the year, rolling year, is thinning out. Okay, it's thinning out. So let's see what happens. Now the NASDAQ, same thing, it's thinning out. All right, what I mean by that? Less and less participation. Okay, the more you do this, the more you're going to do this. Okay, you can't survive on thin, 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 thin. Okay, that's how it works. So that's what those are the daily charts, right? So right off the bat, I mean, this profile doesn't give me much insight, to be honest with you, this time. It really doesn't. It just shows me we're thinning out. Price is right here at your 6687s. Let's look at some levels. Oh, we got a level here, folks. We have a level here, folks. All right, now yesterday you ended with a poor high right here. We're gapping up. So one important level, your gap fill, 6681 right here. That lines up, might as well say, this demand zone here. Remember, I said we got to defend the 6670s, right? Well, that's why I love looking at it like in this way. Break out the overnight, you break out the real-time trading hours. You have a beautiful level here. Your 6671 is your overnight low. It's your most traded price yesterday. So guess what, folks? Those are longs there. You lose the 6670s. It's not going to be pretty. Now, FOMC's tomorrow. Rollovers happening. Like I said, a wonky, weird market. We'll have to see. Okay. We actually don't even have a great tail at the top here, so we're going to put this in here. We do have a nice little demand zone right there. Okay. And you have a bunch of demands here. Okay. So really, macro-wise, you want to just see the 6650s. That's your most traded price of the week. I would say above that, you're bullish. Macro-wise. Okay. We do have last week's highs, 6662s right there. Okay. We also have value area low from yesterday here. So this is a big level, 6670s. Value area low, right? So value area, just in case you don't know, is 70% of the trading volume. That's the meat of the volume, right? So typically, you look at them as support and resistance, okay? So if I know 70% of the trading volume had support at the value 6669, basically the 6670s, you lose that. Probably going to cause some selling. Okay, let's get into scenarios here. Alrighty, let's look at, of course, the long side. They have the control. They have the momentum. Okay, we're gapping up. So, if I'm alone, maybe we do one or two things here. You come up, make some excess here in that overnight highs, or you do it during the real-time trading hours, and you pull back into this demand zone. Now you do have the POC here, which means the most time spent has been at 6685. That's a market profile term, POC. Okay, point of control at the 6685. So you have the demand zone here. Do we just do this and melt up? Possibly. Now we can also fill the gap, 6681s, and maybe just dip our toe into this demand zone, and then also move up. Okay, I would say a bear trap would be a quick move down, challenge that overnight lows, challenge this confluence low, right? Remember, 6670 is the ultimate defense for the intraday. Even if we dipped our toe in this demand, held that, we could possibly just melt. That's about all I'm interested in, folks. Now, bear side. Okay, not an easy side to be on. All right, so if I'm a bear, I want the market to make all-time highs. I want the market to make some lower highs. I want it to come through this demand zone. Okay. Once you cut through the POC, I feel like you'll get some nice movement. You'll fill the gap. You'll fill the gap. If we go back into range, now this is the most traded price of the overnight, or in the 6674s, you're going to go right to the 6670s, and that would be a beautiful trade. If this market breaks that and does something like this, yep, we're going down to the 6650s, and we're going to wait for FOMC. 6670s is the real key here. The little level 66.85 that you could break through. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for shorts. That's pretty much it. All right. Now, Nasdaq. Now, folks, I'm going pretty nice at a nice pace today. We can do RRG charts. All right, because this analysis is pretty easy. So we can go right into RRG charts after this just to see what's moving in there, right? Because generally, when I do my swing positions and stuff like that, it's mainly on the very liquid stocks, right? I do have an alternative list that I look at. Your Palantirs, your CoreWeaves, your Circles, your other stocks like that I like to look at. Um, that sometimes don't have a high. They don't follow S&P as much, right? But some of these lists that I'm going to say can do their own thing. So that's what's important to look at the RRG. All right, let's look at our NASDAQ. Gapping up, so important level 24557. That's your gap fill. Lines up with this demand zone. Lines up with the overnight lows, the close from yesterday, right? And your defense, like I was saying earlier, 245s, is the most traded price of yesterday with this demand zone. Now, what does this encompass? The anchor view up for the week, your most traded price of yesterday, and your value area low from yesterday's session. Remember, value area is 70% of the trade. So that's the lower portion of that value area. Okay. And just in general, if you're talking about the markets, which is an auction at the end of the day, if we're talking about real estate, do you want to buy a house at a value area high or its value area low? Obviously, the low. You get a better deal. Otherwise, you're overpaying. That's the same concept. Okay, it's the same concept. So, your 245s, if you're a NASDAQ, well, you don't want to lose that. It's going to cause some panic. And what do we have? We have some single prints from yesterday. And you know who I'm going to bring up. That's the elephant on the stick. Poor foundation. This is not. Look at the volume. There's not much volume there, folks. If we lose the 245s, that foundation should get broken. But if single prints are supportive, that is bullish. Cuts both ways. Okay. We have all-time highs in the overnight. Generally not secure, so we're just going to put a little box around here. Now we do have demand right here. And that demand encapsulates the most traded price of the overnight, which is about 246. We tested this once, and it was support. Okay. And of course, the most traded price, and this is the real thin part, I have to say, about the profile, the composite weekly profile here. I want to show you the slope. This is a Josh Schuler term from Trader Profile. He calls it the slope of hope. Look at the volumes diminishing. Skinny, 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 skinny. That's less and less people are buying these highs. And when you get that skinny, you only have, you're to the top of the mountaintop, and then you have a fall that could happen, right? That's not a prediction, that's just a probability. It's very important. Look at the volume here in the NASDAQ at the most traded price of the week. That's your 24267s. There is really not much volume, a next candidate up here. That's how much this market is moved away from value. This is well away from value here. Value is all the way down here. If price cannot pick value and move it up, price returns back to value. Okay? Hopefully everybody understands that. Very important to realize that. Okay, that's how our markets work. That's how any auction works. You get a tail, you go back to the distribution, the meat of the move, the value area. Okay, now I didn't break it out for you in the ES, and I apologize. I forgot to do that. So let's break out this session here. Let's break out the session. We're going to get into scenarios. And then we'll go into the RNGs, the little bonus. I might just be Rosita here doing the RNG. And probably she's not even watching. So I'll do it because then I'll put it out of my Discord. All right. Now, let's get into it. Of course, Bull's in control. We tested this demand once. Okay. So, we know we got gap fill the 2, 4, 5, 5, 7s. Okay. The 2, 4, 4, 5, 7s. Now, let me guess. Is that an indicator on your charts now, Chief? I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling it might not be there, Chief. But you're a busy woman. I mean, it only take a couple minutes, but let's go into the scenarios. Let's see. We're in demand. So we can pull back here again, right? Maybe get bounced up, right? And push up, right? We're pretty far away from the all-time highs, which I said are not very secure. Now, a nice easy one would be a beautiful pullback here to fill that gap into this demand zone. Okay. Okay. Fill that gap. Whoop, and get beautiful long. Remember, I am long biased if you don't lose 245. So if we really fly down and everyone gets nervous, right? We hit the close. We actually test that 245, and maybe we get a bear trap here. Go like this real quick, hit the top of those single prints, reclaim it, and then you can go up. Wait for FOMC tomorrow. That's the long scenarios, folks. Here's the short ones. Here's the short ones. Now, let's make all-time highs. Boom, lower high, lower high. And we come back and we test that most trader price it overnight, the 24597s, 246s basically. If you take out this demand, you should cascade down to the gap fill, 24557s. Okay, now that's where the rubber meets the road. If you take out those overnight lows, you're going to meet 245s. This could be it. You could bounce. Wait for FOMC. If we take it out, folks, and we find acceptance below, and you're bouncing into single prints, and the market's deteriorating, the very thin toothpick volume here, the elephant's going to sit on it and break it. And we're going to go back to last week's highs, 2, 4, 3, 9, 6s. Okay? If it's really bad, we go down to the 2, 4, 2, 6, 7s. That's your most traded price of the week. I don't think it will be that bad, but you never know. Okay? Is this trade easy? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I have to see market internal to be pretty weak for me to be confident. Okay? Now, that's it, folks. We're done early today. We're done early today. That leaves us room for the RRG. Okay, that leaves us room for the RRG charts. I don't have any kind of graphic for that yet. I probably should. But let's do it. Let's do it. And what I'm going to do here is get those set up. And I'll just show you. Hold on a second here. Let's go to the Discord here. Right there. We'll pull up my little Discord. And what I'm going to do is run my script right in front of you. You'll see it. Okay, so we're going to look for the main sectors. So let's just look at the main sectors. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked here. This is my script. Okay, so first thing I need to do, enter specific date or a number of days. Well, I know the date I want, September 2nd. So I'm going to hit number 1. Boom. And we're going to go to the 25th. We're going to go to 0902. That's September 2nd. Then it's going to ask me for the end date. That is today. Boom. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to look at the main sectors? I want to look at the main sectors first. It's going to generate a chart. Okay. And once it generates that chart, I will show you that chart. Here we go. Here's our RRG chart. Now, again, the RRG chart shows you rotations of sectors, okay? And it's based against the SPY. So the farther over the dot means that it's relatively stronger than SPY, okay? The farther to the left is it's weaker than the SPY. And in this top quadrant means that it's leading. That means the momentum's there and it's stronger than the SPY. Now, the other thing, if you see a push up into this area, like utilities, right? That shows you the momentum, the recent momentum of a sector. Okay, pretty cool, right? So, right off to the bat, if I was just going to look at the chart, I'd be like, okay, this purple is semiconductors. Now you can look up here, semiconductors are up 7.2% from September 2nd. Followed by communications up 7.0. That's why they're right next to each other, right? Now, who has had momentum recently? Utilities. So this is what I mean, right? Like, we know utilities from September 2nd were lagging. They were lagging. They were not strong. All of a sudden, utilities are getting bought. You see what I mean? How you can see a little hidden gem here. Okay, utilities, right? XLU, that's your NextEra Energy, right? I believe your Duke Energy. That's like your GE Vernova, your VST, data center build out, right? Power. So that is still been strong. It's not as strong as a SPY, but it's getting momentum. Look at the ones that are losing momentum. Okay, financials has lost a little momentum. Energy, staples has really been lagging. So has basic materials. So has healthcare of late. Now, this is what I do next. Oh, look at that, XLU. Let's check it out. Right. So I'm gonna close it. And then my script will say, do you want to dive into specific holdings of the XLU? I'll pick the sector, XLU, and now it's going to give me the stocks in XLU in what is moving. So let's do that. Okay. Here's the leader. Like I said, Vistra, ticker VST, is up 14.9% since September 2nd. Okay. Now here's the cool part, right? We know that's the monster. SPY's been up 3.2% since then. VST has been up 14.9. I almost bought VST, but I went with GE Vernova. Okay. Now GE Vernova can sometimes be looked at as a an energy, but don't quote me on that. Okay. Now check it out. What I want to show you. So that's VST. CEG has up 7.6%. But let's say you missed the boat. Well, who's got momentum right now? Check it out. Look at them, these little dots, and you want something kind of going to the right, right? So D, I don't even know what D is. I'm not sure. It's Dominion Energy. But let's check out D, right? Let's say you missed the boat, but guess what? D's getting some love, right? So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close this, and let's look at D together. I don't remember what this is, right? It's a D together. So we'll do ticker D. And since it's moving up, right, that means the momentum of the last, I think, 5 or so days should be good. There you go, folks. Look at D. I would say that looks pretty nice, right? That's a nice move. Right? Now, if we look at VST, you're probably going to see a meteoric move. Yes. That's from September 2nd. Remember, it's from September 2nd. Look at that move. Woof. That's your VST. So that's how you can look at some of these little hidden gems, right? All right. Next, let's put up my next script. Let's do the next script here. And I'm going to go into sub industries. Sub industries. Okay. These are with sector. These are the industries within the sectors. Gets a little more granular here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to a specific date. Specific date. I know it's September 2nd, right? Put it in. And I'm going to be like for today, up to today, I'm going to look at the broad sub-industry sectors. And it's going to give me what's been moving, what's been lagging. Let's see what we come up with here. And you're going to notice there's going to be a lot. Okay. So, woof, my lord. The number one on here is basically like Bitcoin related stocks. There's an ETF called IBLC. That thing is up 14% since September 2nd. The SPY is only up 3.2. That has momentum and it's strong. So right there, whoa, that's what's leading. Okay. Now, who's lagging? Oil and gas, XOP, jets, that's your airlines. They're all lagging. Okay. Now, is there anybody who just caught momentum? Let's see. Solar, a little bit, but not really. You want something that's jetting from here up into this area. A little bit ITA. I'm trying to remember what ITA. Oh, that's aerospace. A little aerospace. But I would say still the miners. XME metals and mining. So if you look at a GDXJ chart, silver, they're kind of killing it right now. And I regret I had GDXJ at like $30 a share. It's like at like I think 70 or 80. It's hard to look at because I got stopped out on that a long time ago. Now that's your metals and mining, okay, and your Bitcoin, okay. Now you can see here other leaders, PEJ, I believe that's leisure and entertainment. That's 5.3, but your real one is XME and IBLC. Now I know IBLC, I have IREN in it. That had a big move. I was long in that at $7. That thing is at like 20 something. Let's look at it, and then I'll just leave you guys with that. All right, let's look at the IBLC. Let's look at that. Let's go dive into specific holdings. IBLC is number 23, and we're gonna get a little chart here. Let's just see. And who's the leader? That is that IREN. All right, up 27.6%, and then APLD up 26.8, Riot up 18.4. Okay, MicroStrategy is actually negative. Mara Mining's only up 1%. Right? Mara actually just had a little move up into this quadrant. That means it probably gained momentum as late. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty much APLD in that IREN. All right, in this. All right, we know Mara just got a little bump. So to see the Mara, why don't we just go to Mara real quick, and just to see the little bump it's had as of late. Okay, let's look at this. Remember, that's only momentum of late. A little bit. See, that's a nice hammer right here. Nice hammer candle, but the chart's really not showing us much. Look at that consolidation in Mara. Wow. If that breaks the 16.65s, that's going to have a nice move. Okay. Now, back to this. IREN's been a monster, right? We're going to go right back to the mining, right? We're going to go right back to mining. We'll go into that, and we'll go XME, that's 18, and we'll see the chart of the miners, of and see how good they've been doing. So, Cleveland Cliffs, steel. Steel is the strongest on the board, up 13.8%. Followed by Alcoa, that's aluminum. So materials are getting some love. Okay, obviously not everything's strong. FCX is copper. All right. Newmont is gold. Okay. So you don't really have a new one that's popping up here, but you do have Cleveland Cliffs. They were strong, lost some momentum, and then gained some momentum lately. So that's what's going on, folks. So what do we say here? Was utilities could be a hidden gem. That's what I'm coming away with. All right, utilities. Right. So we have to see. That ends the RG. Everybody, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed everything I showed you. Smash the like button if you did. That would be much appreciated. Okay. Now, subscribe, set an alert. What are you waiting for? Join me every morning, give you your market story, the news, the economic calendar, leaders and laggards, and have a cup of coffee or tea or water with me. Okay. Let me give you the 411 on the markets. That does definitely age me. Not age me. Forget the expression. Age is probably not the right word. But date me. Date me. That's what I meant to say. I'm not a young buck anymore. So I'll give you the 411 on the markets. The information, the latest information. Okay. Ooh, you did. Ooh, that's a lagger. That's a lagging response, but I love it. She's probably busy. You put it on your chart. You put it on your phone too? Well, I haven't done that yet. No, you probably did because you're all on your phone a lot. Anyway, join me, folks. That's all I'm asking. You see, uh, my fellow friend here, she put it on her charts finally, and it's an amazing tool. All right. Now, if you want more details, like my expected move, you want intraday commentary, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube page, sign up, join the community. Okay, join the community. I showed you earlier. I give a lot of stuff here, golden nuggets. All right, expected move indicators right here for you to put on your charts, just like Rosita here. I tried 2 times. Oh boy, that means you don't know how to do it. But is it on your desktop? Right. So this is my Discord. Come join me. Like I said, give you videos, give you everything you need to know. Yesterday, no trades. Yesterday, no trades. But come join. All right. Now, everybody, have a great day. Remember, no trades a trade. Stay green. This is rollover week, so it's weird. FOMC's tomorrow. Maybe I get it set up today. Maybe I don't. All right. So, everybody have a great day. If I don't see you on my Discord, I'll see you tomorrow.